John's going to talk about an admin who got a bit pissed off and regretted it in today's Not So Critical update.
I think every competent IT guy or gal has been here. Definitely, if you're like a security engineer, you've been here. You have found something that is, in your eyes, fairly critical and a big deal, and the company does not care. But the story is that an IT admin, where was he out of? I think China, got 7 years in prison for wiping his company's servers to prove a point. The story goes that this Han Bing, I think his name is, found some flaws in the company's security in regards to their database. Maybe it was a while since I read the story. And had him and a colleague went to the higher ups with a report being like, this is really bad, we're gonna get hacked or whatever, we need to fix this stat. And they were like, no, you're not important, go back to your shit job, fuck you. And he got kind of, I guess, he broke bad, like Walter White, minus the meth and the cancer, and deleted the files.
Burned down the house.
He was almost
multiple
careful.
servers.
He was almost careful enough, but they figured out that it was him because of his MAC address, I believe.
There were like 5 people who had access, so it narrowed down the pool pretty.
It was it. Like, it could really only have been one of those people.
Yeah.
That was a bit.
And John, when you say every admin has been in this place, been in the place that they think about doing this, not been in the place that they actually follow through on doing it.
That's so right. I forgot to actually say the crucial part, which is the important part. I just deleted all of my company. No, I'm just kidding. The important part is that you have to, as an IT admin or a systems engineer or security engineer, as long as you cover your ass, or CYA as it's known, you need to CYA this or CYA that. It's commonly said to one another in the IT industry, is if you're like, hey, something's happened, this is bad, we need to fix this, I discovered it in an email, right? And then now you have an executive or higher up acknowledging that you said this and being like, no, we're not going to spend resources on this. It's not worth it for us. It's worth it to be on the risk versus the risk versus cost doesn't line up. So we're going to skip it. Maybe next year, maybe next quarter,
Commonly happens with backups, encryption, two-factor authentication, all these kind of things which are expensive and don't provide any immediate benefit, are mostly kind of skipped over until something terrible happens.
GDPR compliance.
So tempting for you for an admin to just like prove the point. Sorry, John. It's good. It is genuinely like, but this is so important. Can't you see how important this is if you just spend a tiny fraction of the fucking marketing budget on this shit?
Also, sometimes these prima donnas think something is super, super important and the business legitimately decides it's not worth the money and their fragile egos can't take it.
And that's a business decision. And that's their call. And as long as I've covered my ass, you can do whatever you want. I don't give a shit. It's not my fault anymore. I warned you about it. It's your fault now.
One thing that strikes me about this story is how often people, IT admins, sorry, Mike, do you want to say something?
No, I'll wait until you're done. Go ahead.
Just how often the IT admins are put in a position where they have such critical access to super important and high profile stuff like the CEO's emails and shit like that, and they get paid peanuts and aren't listened to and not respected, and then something goes wrong and they get blamed for it. I mean, obviously, when they do that thing wrong deliberately, it's a slightly different situation, but
That
Sorry, Mike,
reminded
what were you
me.
going to say?
Well, so to John's point about cover your ass, I remember as an IT provider, sometimes clients would turn down like a backup service. And so we'd actually make them sign a paper that says, you told me I need a backup service.
Yeah.
I refused it. I assume all the risk. I will never hold you responsible. I will never point the finger. I'm taking this, and they had to sign that paper. What you said about the emails, though, Peter, reminded me that every once in a while he'd get a request from a business owner who was like, "Hey, can you get me access to spy on all of my employees' emails?"
Yeah, that was a classic MSP one.
And that's where I was like, "No, I can't do that. Nope."
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but then
it's funny how many business owners want that, though.
Yeah,
but then the person requesting it usually doesn't realize that all of their emails are accessible by the admin as well.
By the MSP, right?
Yeah, it's
they may assume that they are. I mean, I assume other people can see my emails.
You know, something disgusting in the MSP industry. This has happened to me multiple times. When I started out in tech and IT, I started out at a MSP, and there's a lot of just help desk stuff. Remote into this customer's PC, remote into the CEO's PC, help them with X, Y, whatever. First thing I'd have to do usually is most likely open a browser and download something. Open their browser and type the word P, the letter P.
Okay, I can see what
I'm telling you guys that over 5 times they'd been viewing adult content on their work PC.
Yeah.
And I mean tab after tab after history tab, history of this website that we all know rhymes with, Porn Cub, and
it's Pornhub. It's
crazy. It's Pornhub crazy to me that these guys are, and you know how awkward it is. You have them on the phone. They're watching you work.
I never worked for a managed service provider myself. I'm so glad that I didn't.
Oh, I'm so glad. Be happy.
Story
it's a nightmare.
About working.
You press P and you just see it. So you like quickly try to type what you're looking for to get it out, but they know you saw it. I know you know I saw it.
We used to send, like, something MSPs love to do is send reports at the end of each month, because ideally, if you're a good MSP, your client's never going to have a problem. And then at some point they start to think, well, what are we paying you for? We never have any problems. Like, yes, you don't have any problems because you're paying us. So whatever. We love to send reports that say, here's what we did for you. One of those reports is about the web content filtering. And the number of times I'd have to send somebody a report, it's like, here are the top threats that we blocked, and it'd be like porn site, and you could tell the owners would either be like, oh my god, what employee was that, or they'd say, let's turn off that filtering.
Oh my god!
I wonder whose computer we caught up in our service.
Yeah.
We know which computer it is.
Right.
Steve, we know.
Yeah, required a very diplomatic conversation a couple times. But this guy, burnt down the house, salted the earth, and said, yeah, fuck it. You don't want to follow my advice? I will
I salute him.
Demonstrate.
You
Don't do this. Don't do this. No. No respect.
It makes me wonder how many people didn't get caught. He got caught because he was a sloppy, but a lot of IT admins are not going to be. They're going to be like, okay, I'm going to fuck the entire company and just watch, especially if they're quitting. When they get disrespected.
Or if they've just quit, or if they've been fired wrongfully.
Yeah.
Too many.
Oh, just there's also left. Everything went down.
Quite a famous a guy called, I think his name's Randy Schwartz. He wrote one of the foundational Perl books, one of the O'Reilly books, and he was in a situation where he was a sysadmin and he was working for, I hope I'm not getting people mixed up here. Apologies to anyone who's watching who can correct me, but anyway, he was a sysadmin and he tried to hack the company password file, and he found that all the passwords were just so easily crackable, admin 123 or password or whatever. And he went to his management and he was like, listen, we need to enforce some kind of password policy because everybody's password is so easy to hack. And they fired him and took him to court for criminal misdemeanors. And it was horrible. He was just trying to help people out. They're like, oh, you know our password. So you can't know that. How can you know that? It's just ridiculous.
It reminds me of Aaron Schwartz.
Yeah. Well, we've got
The
similar names. Is it Randy Schwartz?
the co-founder of Reddit. He killed himself after MIT, I believe it was, took him to court because he leaked documents because he believed in freedom of information or something. He has a really fucked up story. There's a documentary called, I think it's called His Name Was Aaron Schwartz.
Yeah, Aaron Schwartz.
It's a really good documentary. Really sad documentary.
We could do a whole episode on him. It's a tragic story where he committed suicide. Well, ending on a high note. So thanks, Jon.
Sorry.
Yeah.